Hey, fourth graders, it's Mrs. Spears. Coming at you from a weird angle today. I have to use both my hands for this lesson today, so I wanted to show the camera up so you could see it. I know it's a little difficult to see, but I'm gonna do my best to keep it. I can't see the camera right now, so I'm doing my best to keep things in frame today. This is kind of a hard topic for me to teach via a video. This is a much easier thing for me to teach you in person. But this is what we have to do right now. So I'm only going to do like a few of these problems with you on the video. There is an online tool that if you go to your lesson plans for today is May 20th, Wednesday, May 20th. If you go to those lesson plans, you will see a link to that online tool where you can actually practice using a protractor online. It's a little bit easier than trying to do this on the video. It's a little bit easier for me to show you. So I'm only going to do so many of these with you. Do your best with this. This is a tough topic to do online. So I'm going to do my best to teach it to you, but if you don't quite understand it by the end of all this, it's not the end of the world. You'll get practice with it in 5th grade and up too. So we're learning how to use protractors today. So protractors can come in a couple different forms. You can either have this kind of protractor, which is what I would prefer you use. This was on your school supply list at the very beginning of the year, so hopefully you've got yours still somewhere. I have a feeling a lot of you don't, and I understand that, but you do need one of these for this. If you cannot find this, I did provide you with paper ones in your packet when you got your bag sent home a couple weeks ago. These are a little more difficult to use because you can't see through them like you can on this one. So this one is, I would much prefer you use this one because it's a lot easier to use. Also with this one, the reason there's two of them is because it goes from 0 degrees to 180 degrees on this one, and the 0 degrees is over here because sometimes you need the 0 over here and sometimes you need it over here. If you use one of these plastic ones, there is both sets of numbers on here. So like you have from 0 to 180 down here, but you also have it from here to here. So I mean, these are a lot better, so you don't have to keep moving and switching back and forth. You can also see through these a lot better, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. So keep that in mind. So this problem shows you actually how to use the protractor on here, and I'll show you using it as well. So I'm going to stand up because then maybe I can see a little bit better for you. Okay, so it says Emma wants to make a clay sculpture of her daughter as she appears in the photo from her dance recital. So over here. How can she measure angle DCE, or the angle formed by her daughter's arms? A protractor is a tool for measuring the size of an angle. So yesterday we talked about how all angles are measured in degrees. A whole circle all the way around is 360 degrees. A half a circle, like on a protractor, is 180 degrees, which is a straight angle. This bottom edge right here is your straight angle. So that's what you compare this half. You've got half of your circle here, and then your straight angle here. So this is 180 degrees. And then if I had two of these put back to back together, I could make a whole circle, and that would give me 360. Okay, so the first thing you have to do, it says place the center point of the protractor on the vertex. So each protractor has a little hole in it right here. Hopefully you can see that. If you're using the paper ones, you have to use the little hash marks right there. So you're going to line up the hole with the vertex of your angle. So remember, the vertex is where the two lines come together in the angle. So for her, it's point C right here. So you would line up your vertex with that point. Okay, now this is align the 0 degree mark on the scale of the protractor with ray CE. So here's ray CE. On your protractor, there is, let's see here. You see that a little better. There we go. This straight line right here that's printed on the protractor is your 0 degree marker. It's straight across, it's straight on the edge. It's at 0 degrees. You can kind of see that written over here on this one. With these little guys, your 0 is one corner or the other, but it still counts as this straight line across the bottom. So I'm going to, the problem is if I line this up on here, because I'm supposed to line it up, point C goes inside the hole. And then I take her arm, which is ray CE, and I line it up with this black line on my protractor. So ray CE, and that's exactly lined up. So then I know that this is an obtuse angle. I know it's bigger than a right angle, which a right angle goes straight up and down on this protractor, 90 degrees. So I know it's bigger than that. So I have to use the numbers that are bigger than 90 degrees. Well, the problem is her arm doesn't reach all the way over to the numbers. So it's hard for me to measure it because I can't see it. So I'm actually going to take her arm. I'm going to use the straight edge of my protractor. I'm going to make her arm just a little longer. Okay. So I've got that. And now I can line it back up again. That line goes all the way out to these numbers. So it makes it way easier for me to measure where that is. So I know that it's going to use the numbers that are bigger than 90 degrees. If I use the top numbers on this one, these ones are all smaller than 90 degrees. So I'm going to ignore those ones and I'm going to use the 100 ones over here. So I've got, let's see here. Here's 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. So that's too far. Halfway between is 125. So it's smaller than 125. So I have 120, 121, 122, and 123. So this angle right here is 123 degrees. Which means, I'm going to fill this in down here. This is 123 degrees. Like I said, it's kind of a challenging thing to show you on the camera. I wish I could do this with you in person. Just do the best that you can with what you've got. I'm going to turn the page. I'm on page 614 now. We rearrange here. Okay, so it says to draw angles. So not only can you use protractors to measure angles, you can use them to draw specific angles as well. So it says draw angle KLM with a measure of 82 degrees. Use the straight edge of the protractor to draw a label ray LM. So I'm actually going to use another piece of paper so you can see a bigger version. You can do it right here. It's just not very much space. So I recommend getting out your math notebook and doing it in there. So you're going to use the straight edge to draw one of the legs of your angle. Remember, your angle's lines are called the legs, the rays. So I'm going to use my straight edge to draw one part of my angle. Because this is angle KLM, I know that my middle point is going to be the L, because the middle letter is the middle point of my angle. And then this is going to be M. But I got to find how far over to draw the other part based on what it says. So it says 82 degrees. So I'm going to take my protractor, line up the vertex with the dot, with the hole, and then line up the line I just drew with the dark line on my protractor. Now that it's all lined up, I need to draw it at 82 degrees. So I kind of drew this a little funky. I should have drawn it a little further down. Oh well, we'll make it work. You know what? I'm just gonna do it like this. Sorry, I didn't realize how far down I'd have to draw it. So I'll fix it. So KLM. So I'm going to draw this as 82 degrees from this line. So I'm going to line it up again. There we go. All right, it's lined up with this line. I got to find 82 degrees. So I can't use the inside numbers because to make an 82 degree angle, if I drew the 82 over here where this 80 is, that would mean that this would become an obtuse angle. 80 degrees are acute angles. They're small angles. So they have to be written in a smaller way. So I'm going to find 80 along the outside edge. 80. We'll draw a little dot next to the 80. And then I'm going to come out here and I'm going to connect them. I'm going to connect the vertex to the other point on the angle that I just made. And this is point M. So to double check my answer, I can always use it to measure. Again, line it up. Line up the black line with the bottom part of the angle and see if this line goes all the way through an 80, and it does. So it is correct. Like I said, I can't draw that with this one over here, the 80, because that would make this an obtuse angle. And 80 is smaller than 90 degrees, which means it has to be smaller than a right angle. So that would be too big. All right, if you're using the purple ones, it still works, but it's way harder because you can't see through it. So this is easy. These are better to draw with than they are to measure with, but it is what it is. So line up the vertex with the line. Line up the bottom leg of the angle with the bottom edge. And I know this has to be 82 degrees. Oh, 82. I already drew it as 80. Yeah, well. So then I could draw it like this. Okay, I drew the other one wrong. You can tell I haven't practiced this in a long time. So there's that. So it's just be a little bit longer, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just longer because this is bigger than the other one. So with this one, like I said, I recommend drawing them on another piece of paper. I tried to draw all the ones in the book a couple of days ago, and they all are weird and funky on each other. So just kind of do your best. Your pages will look really weird by the end of the day, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to just do a couple more of these with you, because I know this is kind of a lot to take in. Like I said, visit that link that's in your lesson plans, because it will give you some more practice using an online one, which may be a little easier to handle, especially since I'm not really there to help you and guide your hands and things like that, because I'm here at home. So this is kind of the best we could do, and that's okay. Okay, so this one says measure angle ABC. So this is angle ABC right here. Place the center of the protractor on the point. Okay. Align ray BC, which is this one right here, with 0 degrees, which is the line, the dark line right here. I forgot to do this one, on point B. Read where ray BA intersects the same scale. So what that means is if we're using this 0 right here, I got to figure out, so the 0's on this scale over here, which means I don't need to use this one. I'm going to use this one at the bottom at the top. So I got to find out where it crosses. Now again, it's not long enough. It doesn't reach my protractor. So I'm going to have to make it bigger. So line it back up. I know this is an acute angle. It's smaller than 90 degrees, so I'm going to use the smaller than 90 degree numbers. And that one goes all the way up to between 60 and 70, halfway between 60 and 70, that would be 65. So the measure of angle ABC is 65 degrees. All right. It says use a protractor to find the angle measure. So I'm going to use, I just like to use the bottom edge as to line it up with the scale on here. If you're doing it the way the book wants you to do it, you'd have to like turn it around. You turn your protractor around and do it like this. So that way you could start with 0 and go all the way up to here and use that scale over here. I just always check to see, is it an acute angle or an obtuse angle or a right angle? What kind of angle is it? And then I use whatever numbers fit that description. So this is an acute angle. It's smaller than a right angle. So I'm going to use the smaller than 90 degree numbers. So I'm going to line this up here. Like I said, it won't reach, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And see, it's going to cross over some of your other work. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Line it back up. See where it crosses. Because it's an acute angle, I'm going to use the smaller than 90 degree numbers. So if I'm on this side, I'm going to use the bottom part. So this one is between 50 and 60. It's not quite on that line right there, so I'm going to go to the tiny lines. So that's 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. So the measure of the angle is 56 degrees. Same thing with this one. I'm going to use, this is an obtuse angle, just barely, but it is, because if you do a fake right angle right there, you can tell that it is bigger. So I'm going to use the numbers that are bigger than 90 degrees. I'm going to take my long one, my top one, and make it longer. And then I'm going to line it up. Vertex, 0 degrees. And I'm going to use the bigger numbers because it's bigger than 90 degrees. So this one, it's kind of hard to tell just because of the way the book is. But this goes exactly right here. So that's 104 degrees. Okay, use a protractor to draw the angle 170 and 78. So again, I'm just going to use a piece of paper because it's a little bit better than trying to squeeze it in that little tiny space. So I'm going to make sure I'm all centered here. And then I'm going to give myself plenty of space. I learned that the hard way. 170 degrees. So I'm going to draw a vertex. And the bottom line, the bottom ray. And then I'm going to draw it at 170 degrees from here. So I know 170 degrees is an obtuse angle. It's bigger than 90, but smaller than 180. So I'm going to have to make sure that my angle goes all the way over here somewhere, okay? So I'm going to use the 100s over here, not these 100s. If I use these 100s over here, it's going to make an acute angle, and I can't make an acute angle. So it's at 170. 170 is actually all the way in this corner right here. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll just kind of do the best that we can here. It's actually 165, but I know that this is a little bit further down. Okay, and then once I've got my dot, I can take my straight edge and create my angle. So that's 170 degrees, which looks like a straight angle, but it's not. And then just plain 78 degrees. I'm going to draw my straight edge. It's my vertex. I'm going to make an acute angle because 78 degrees is smaller than 90 degrees. So I'm going to use these ones down over here. 75, so we're 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So I'm going to do my best kind of to line that up. And that's 78 degrees right here. Okay guys, that is where I'm going to stop the video. I know I've only done a couple example problems, but like I said, if you need to watch it as many times as you need to. It's okay. I just don't like making your videos any longer than 20 minutes. But watch it as many times as you need to. If you're struggling with this, come join me for Zoom today. Like I said, today is Wednesday, May 20th. I'll be on there. I'll be doing my best on that too. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to film. But just do your best with it. It's something it's a challenging thing to learn in person, let alone to do it online. So just kind of do your best with it. And if you got any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you later. Bye.